Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated to CBS's Big Brother Season 22 All-Stars. Now, just like my previous videos, I'm going to be doing a review and recap on the most recent episode of Big Brother and then give a hand signal going into live feed updates. So if you don't want to be spoiled with the current week and who won Veto and if they're going to use it or not, then you can shut the video off. But let's get started. And we have some major deja vu happening within this episode, as this is just, a lot of it is rehashing of what happened throughout the triple eviction. Except for, we get to see the little bits in between where they got to strategize. And I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of things that I thought happened the way they happened. I mean, when Memphis won HOH, he basically told everybody to buzz off and he's not going to talk to anybody, which he does when he gets normal HOH. Instead of it being not wanting to talk about game for a couple of hours, this time he didn't have to talk game for like a minute to however long a Crest commercial is. So he puts up David and Nicole, and then of course he wants David out and Christmas not to use the veto, but we get to see extra strategizing between Tyler and Christmas where they're like, we want to take Nicole out. They go and talk to Enzo, and I think ultimately what hurt their chances of taking out Nicole in the second eviction of the triple eviction was their argument to Enzo. Now, in the bathroom, Tyler and Christmas were talking, and it seemed as though Enzo could have been on board, but instead of going and talking about how like Nicole and Cody and Danny are super tight, if you can break through Nicole and Danny, then you could have Cody all to yourself. You're never going to be Cody's official number 2, or he's not going to take you over Nicole and Danny. Instead of saying all of that, they went into saying, hey, we should take out Nicole, but you know everybody else is going to be pissed because Memphis wants David out, Cody and Nicole are really close, Danny and Nicole are really close, and if you're going to talk about how the aftermath is going to be so bad and horrid for you, why? Why would you even say that to the person you're trying to play the swing vote for? So Enzo, with all that going in his mind, was like, I'm going to play the numbers game, and I'm going to just take out David instead of Nicole. Then we move on to everything that happened on the third eviction of the night, and that's where we get an understanding of why everything was so personal. When Danny was walking out of the house, there was a lot of talk, there was a lot of talking between her and Christmas when they were actually in the middle of getting the votes between Danny and Nicole on that third eviction of the night. This segment ultimately took over a ton of the episode, and it was really all filler and no thriller in my opinion. Then we move on to the current HOH competition, which is a yoga competition, which in this competition, what you would be doing is wearing all this ridiculous clothes that Big Brother would have you put on. Then you have to touch 3 buttons, and you have to hold those buttons. If you let go at any point, your time would double. And what you're trying to do is take off all the clothes that you have and run over and hit a buzzer. And the person with the fastest time at the end would win. Now, this is a round by round system, so the person with the longest time in each round would be chopped off and would not be able to compete in the later rounds. So the first one out is Christmas because she forgot she had a total shirt on. Now, I get it if you had like a glove, if you had a sock, if you had your pant leg still around your ankle, but a whole shirt? Are you kidding me? That is absolutely asinine. So she got like 16 minutes, she was out, then Nicole was out, then Enzo. It comes down to Memphis or Cody, and Cody was able to knock this out of the park. He was like the fastest in every round, and then Memphis at the end round decided he was going to do the strategy of ripping off the shirt and just letting go of all the buttons and lifting off the shirt while walking to your buzzer. But so much time ran off trying to get that shirt off that he had like over 5 minutes, close to 6 minutes on his counter. And Cody was at like 1 minute and he knew he could take his time, which he did, and he won HOH. I have to say, I actually enjoyed watching this HOH comp. I thought it was decent. I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool that they were put in some weird costumes. It was not something that we've seen like a billion times before on Big Brother, so I really enjoyed this competition. I thought it was interesting, and seeing Cody win HOH again, you understood exactly where he was going to be coming from because of everything that happened in the week. we know going into this HOH that Cody will never put up Nicole or Enzo up on the block. Those are his two main allies in the game that he can trust 100%. So it comes down to Christmas, Tyler, and Memphis. And Christmas and Tyler, I mean, because of Enzo's intel and how the night went in the triple eviction, all eyes are on Christmas and Tyler. Everyone knows that they are super, super tight with each other. So if you want to get farther into this game, let's take a shot at one of them or both of them this week. So Cody already knew heading into the Friday, heading into the nomination ceremony, that he was going to be putting up Christmas and Tyler. Both have won vetoes and HOHs in the season, but it comes down to if you want to take out at least one of them, you have to put up both of them. And then if one of them wins the veto, then you just put up Memphis and you hope your numbers just completely decimate whoever is left on the block of Tyler and Christmas. And that's pretty much where this episode ends, is Cody putting up Tyler and Christmas. But what do you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about the whole strategizing within the triple eviction? What do you think about the HOH comp? What do you think about Cody winning and putting up Tyler and Christmas? And out of those two, who would you like to see leave? Let me know that in the comment section below. But now we're going into live feed updates and talking about Veto. And of course, we're at the final 6. Everybody in the game will be able to play the Veto comp. So they did. And the person who won the Veto comp was Cody. He has all the power this week. And we know he is not going to use the power of Veto whatsoever. So either Christmas or Tyler will be going out this week. Now, Cody and Nicole have been talking a ton, and they really want to take out Tyler this week. Tyler is the main target, and I think that's a good strategy, just for the sole fact that if you look at their stats for this season, and it's really coming down to competition wins. This is no more really a social-based game. This is going to come down to comp wins, who wins comps, and who's with who. And at this moment, if you're looking at the HOH and Veto wins, Christmas's main competitions that she won mainly came from other people's mistakes, like the HOH comp that she won, like the Veto comp that she won, the Veto where it was like ready, set, whoa, where both Bailey and Davon false started, and then Danny and Nicole didn't want to win. And Ian didn't even play in that Veto competition. He wasn't even medically cleared. So that just left Christmas as the sole person to win that Veto, when in actuality, Tyler's HOH and Veto wins were a little bit more skill-based, and he's a much better competitor under stress. It seems as though that when the pressure is on, Christmas really crumbles in the occasion. So I completely understand. I mean, I would rather see pretty much everybody get evicted at this point, but I totally see where they're coming from, and I do think that Tyler is the one that needs to be taken out now instead of, say, later. But I do want to see Christmas out of this house. I want to see Memphis out of this house. I could be okay with a lot of people leaving this house. I kind of just want to fast forward. I don't want another month of this. We could just fast forward, and there's really nothing else in these live feeds. Once the Veto was played, once the Veto was won, I mean, this house is divided. It is awkwardly silent. I mean, that triple eviction was a bomb. I mean, people are just kind of just chilling out on their own. I was really surprised that we didn't see the whole have-not ceremony, because Nicole at the moment is the only have-not in the house. Enzo was the only have-not left, and he had to pick somebody, and he picked Nicole. So Nicole has been eating slop all week. She's been up in the have-not room. Christmas has been doing her best, at least in the early part of the week, to get on Nicole's better side by making her slot for her, sleeping in the have-not room with her, and I think she felt really guilty about everything that happened. But Nicole is not having it. She's been staying by herself a lot of the time. It's either by herself in the have-not room or hanging out with Cody in the HOH room. She is like a lone wolf and attached to Cody at the hip. Enzo has been wandering around by himself. Memphis is trying to talk with people, and Tyler has been very quiet, and Cody has been staying up in the HOH room as well. It is really, really silent. If it's not silent in the house and people are finally talking to one another, Big Brother is throwing up those star portrait pictures all the time, and it's super annoying. It's only 6 people. Why are we having to, like, if people aren't singing, we should be able to see what's going on in the live feeds. But we're seeing a lot of people like laying down in bed by themselves, in rooms by themselves, not doing a whole lot. This house is silent. The lines have been drawn. Everybody knows what side they're on, and they're kind of just like done playing nice with one another. But we'll have to wait and see what's gonna go down. That is it for this episode. That's it for live feed updates. What do you think about everything that's going on? Let me know that in the comment section below. And who do you want to see leave this game on Thursday between Tyler and Christmas? Let me know that in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more Big Brother content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.